stumble in the dark. You kept pushing on, but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life goes lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
After a great race last week at Kentucky, we get set to come down to the season finale here at the Michigan International Speedway to decide who will be crowned the Season 9 champion for the CleanRacing.net Truck Series here from Michigan International Speedway. Good evening, everybody. My name is Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for joining us here tonight for this season finale. Alongside me is my broadcast partner, Joseph Lester. Joseph, you were here last week. I wasn't. I was doing the Maestros race. I got a chance to watch it back. It was a great race at Kentucky to set up a great points battle here for the championship tonight.
Yeah, it sure was a fantastic race. There was a wreck on the final lap that was quite controversial, but it happened. Everybody's over it, and we're on to the next.
And we, as you do, we tend to work through it and just jump on to the next week. So right now, as you can see on screen right there, Evan Kinney, a 13-point lead over Mike Van Houten. So that's your big points battle. Also, Nathan Brown looking to win his second consecutive points championship here in the CleanRacing.net Truck Series. He is also eligible for this championship. He is here tonight in the number 92. Right now, it's the 61 of Lane Hostler, who currently holds the pole right now as we get set to jump on into this qualifying session, which is already a little bit more than half over as Ryan Twynham circulates for the second time. He was the slowest of the drivers that took time so far, coming on his second lap here. And Twynham, down on that apron, looks like he's going to jump up to fifth, so a very good time for that number 45. As we see, one of the championship contenders, Joseph, Mike Van Houten, he's only going to get one of these two qualifying laps in, so he's got to make it count.
Yeah, he's only gonna get one in, but I expect it to be a fantastic lap as he sets a purple sector. So that means he has the fastest sector through sector 1. I expect this to maybe even be a pole lap.
It has the possibilities of looking so. Purple, fastest of all, the only driver to make it around the first half of the racetrack in under 20 seconds, and he's going to go purple in the second lap. He only needs one lap. Mike Van Houten goes pole at a 39.92, only driver to qualify in the 39s. What a run.
Yeah, what a amazing lap he had there, and is he flexing his dominance? Maybe showing that he has a chance at this championship.
He's gonna have to flex his dominance here tonight to make up that 16-point gap that he has to the championship leader Evan Kinney. But we'll go now to the grid here to start this race up here tonight. And sitting on the pole is one of those championship contenders, Mike Van Houten, with the lap that we just saw. Lane Hostler will sit outside of him, a tenth and a half off in row number 1. Joey Stiers and Josh Lilly will make up row number 2 with Daniel Sykes and Ryan Twynham in row number 3. Kevin Becker and Kevin Hayes will make up row 4 with Evan Kinney and Nathan Brown making up row number 5, Joseph.
Once you get past row number 5, we have Brian Sullivan starting P11, Mike Thomas starting P12, P13 we have Jamie Laroche, P14 we have Jeremy Morrison, P15 Rye Lewis, P16 Stephen Tuck, P17 Justin Carey, and P18 Chris Smith. And rounding out the field, Frederick Garcia.
And Chris Smith and Freddie Garcia not taking qualifying time, so those two will be ordered by way of their I rating. Weather today looking pretty calm as far as winds go. 78-degree ambient temperature, but a 109-degree track temperature This is a hot track, which means these trucks are going to be loose, especially at the start of these runs.
Yeah, I always love when a track is high track temp. It's really slick, and these guys really have to wheel it around this big 2.5-mile track.
And they absolutely are going to have to wheel it around here tonight as we see the front row. Championship contenders here tonight that we will be focusing on as this race goes on. Obviously, the points leader right now in that number, the second place man in points, pardon me, the pole sitter, that number 31 of Mike Van Houten, will have the best look at it. We also have Joey Stiers is also going to be in the mix here for the points championship. He's on the somewhat on the fringe, starting from the 4th position today. Then we go to the man who they're trying to chase. This is Evan Kinney's number 6, and the man who is trying to win back-to-back points championships. That would be the number 92 of Nathan Brown. So as we come across to get set to go here for the season finale of season number 9, coming to the green, 80 laps here from the Michigan International Speedway. We're green.
We're green, and Mike Van Houten gets off to an amazing start and will lead them into turn 1.
Great jump, you're right, by Van Houten as Joey Stiers in that number 23. Now again, he is the furthest one back as far as the championship is concerned. He needs every single point that he can possibly get, and he's already going for the lead here on lap 1.
Yeah, I mean, man, that was just a textbook pass. Got underneath him there and was able to clear him before the turn.
Great run, too, from Joey Stiers. Now, Stiers finds himself in a very unique situation as the only driver to win multiple races this year. He's won 2, the 3rd race of the season back at the Nashville Super Speedway, and the 5th race of the year at North Wilkesboro. Everybody else has only won 1 race, so Stiers is either going to have to become a 3-time winner this season to win the championship, or one of his championship rivals is going to have to become a 2-time winner on the season to take it home.
Well, I mean, they don't compare him to Richard Petty for no reason. I mean, he's clearly one of the best this series has ever seen, and can he get it done today?
That's going to be the look for it as Josh Lilly goes to the point. Takes the race lead away. Mike Van Houten in the 31 on the inside. Lane Hosler in the 61 in the middle as we're 3 abreast and 3 wide going through turns 1 and 2. 23 of Stiers got that lap leads, now starting to fall to the back as here comes the 6 of Evan Kinney in that new-gen Chevy Silverado. And again, for Kinney, it's everyone else is chasing him, so all he has to do is keep tabs on where his championship rivals are, stay close, and he'll walk away with the championship tonight.
Yeah, he'll walk away with the championship and bragging rights over everybody he's racing against, which personally I think is one of the best feelings in the world.
Oh, absolutely. As just taking a look back through here, Stiers is no stranger to this type of situation here in the 23. He has won 2 of these championships with this series. Kinney looking for his second, won the championship back in season 5 in the number 6. Nathan Brown in the number 92, currently sitting in the 9th position. There he is. Brown is the defending series champion. Mike Van Houten currently running in the 5th spot, as he's just gotten passed by Evan Kinney, looking for his first. So guys looking for championships all over the place. 3 of them have them. One's looking for his first.
Yeah, I mean, we're all talking about the points, but really, some of these guys, they have nothing on the line. They're throwing everything they can at it. They might not have had the best of luck this season, or they might have just been caught up in some bad situations. But this right here, they can walk away with the final race of the season win. That is something that they'll not forget for a long time.
And especially they can also play spoiler big time to one of these championship guys, as the 66 of Daniel Sykes, pardon me, in the 66, running in the 6th position. Trying to hold on to his position from Kevin Hayes in that old throwback from the mid-80s. Budweiser number 51 machine. Love seeing those old throwbacks on these things.
Yeah, I love seeing the throwbacks. It throws back to a simpler time where paint schemes weren't all flash, and they were just, in my opinion, better because I like simple, and they were mostly simple.
It certainly was a more simple time as we ride on the back bumper of the 6 of Evan Kinney, Freeville, New York native. Currently leading all of his championship rivals right now. Just doing enough to keep Mike Van Houten right behind him in that 31.
Yeah, I mean, it's really almost like Daytona and Talladega, just a little bumpier surface. So if you can keep in that draft, you have a chance to hold your position and to win.
We've definitely seen that, especially in C-Class racing in these trucks, because these things are underpowered as compared to the Cup car and the Xfinity car. They also handle better than the Xfinity cars. The 66 of Daniel Sykes looks to the inside of the 31. This is a favored racetrack for these guys to go to for that exact reason. You can hold it virtually wide open around here. It's just a little bit smaller version of Daytona and Talladega.
Yeah, for about 20 laps, it basically is Daytona and Talladega. And then as the tires start to degrade and they start to wear down, well, you're going to see a little bit slower times. You're going to see guys maybe lift to about half throttle through the corners. And that'll open up for a bunch of multi-groove racing. And that high line is going to be where it's at later on in this run.
See the 66 working that outside line right now, and the 61 of Lane Hosler looking to take the lead on that outside line from the 48 of Josh Lilly.
These guys had an amazing battle last week, and I mean, they're going at it again this week too.
A little bit of a push up there from Lilly as Hosler will take the lead and will lead that lap. The first time since about lap 3 that Lilly has been unseated from the race lead. Now
right now he's just looking at it like, hey, Hosler might be a little bit faster than me right now. Let me ride behind you for a little bit, learn your line, save a little tire, and I'll come back at you in a couple laps.
That would definitely be something that would behoove these guys, as that 48 sticking right to the back bumper of Lane Hosler. Ryan Twynham not that far behind, about 0.3 of a second, still very much in draft range, but also keeping out of that aero push, running a little bit lower, getting some air to that splitter. It may not be big, but it's certainly there, and it does have an aerodynamic effect on these trucks.
Yeah, it has some aerodynamic effect. It'll make you a little tighter. Have to turn the wheel a little bit more, which, as I said, I'm going to stress this all race: tire wear. The tighter your car is, the more likely you are to burn off that right front, and that'll make the car even tighter, and you'll see not as fun trucks to drive. But while I was talking, it looked like Josh Lilly made a move on Lane Hostler with the help of Twinham.
Twinham on that inside looking for that second position, so Twinham right there. And
He'll
Twinham
clear Lane Hostler.
Yep, we'll take that position away from Hostler. Mike Van Houten has taken over the fourth position from Evan Kinney, but Kinney still sitting right behind him. This is not enough for Van Houten to win the championship. And I believe he knows it. Joey Stiers in the number 23. Now, the last time this series came to Michigan, it was the first race of season 7, which was won by Stiers. So he does have that under his belt as being the last driver to win here at Michigan in this series. As we got another battle for the lead here as Ryan Twinham goes right for the lead under Josh Lilly in the 48, and he will take it, trying to bring Lane Hostler with him.
Yeah, this racing up front has been absolutely incredible. And we're only on lap 15. Ryan Twinham just took it to the inside and cleared Josh Lilly. And now Josh Lilly's in a battle with Lane Hostler going down the backstretch. It's 3 wide now.
Ooh, Lilly had to really pull it down to keep it out of the wall coming out of 2. Keeps that second position. But now here comes Mike Van Houten with Evan Kinney, pushing him to get him through. So Van Houten through to the third position. And Hostler will slot into fourth. So the top 7 here, Ryan Twinham, Josh Lilly, Mike Van Houten, Lane Hostler, Evan Kinney, Joey Stiers, and Kevin Hayes have broken away from this field to the tune of about 1 second. One of the guys who is not in this group is the number 92 of Nathan Brown, the defending champion, currently sitting third in points. Right now, the third car in that second group.
Yeah, this kind of track, he has openly admitted, isn't his favorite type of track. He likes the tracks where you're not as much full throttle and you're using the brake more. You're easing out of the throttle, easing back into it. But he's a conservative driver, and a lot of these guys that are running up front are very aggressive. We'll see, does the conservative approach help him in the long run to get up there and battle towards the end of this race?
We'll definitely see. It certainly tends to help when you get into a situation where tire wear is a huge factor, as he's getting a nice little push right now from the 85, pardon me, of Kevin Becker.
Yeah, he is.
Go ahead.
But Ryan Twinham is getting a little bit of pressure for that lead by Josh Lilly. They're side by side. This pack is going crazy right now.
Lilly certainly is putting the pressure on. Van Houten right there, as well as Kinney in the 6. There's Van Houten in that number 31 John Deere Toyota. Look at 2 by 2.
Big wiggle by Josh Lilly out of that corner.
Lilly did just have to keep it off the wall, and we've seen so many times. We made the comparison earlier, just a couple of laps ago, for the comparison to Daytona and Talladega. It's starting to look like it now. Side by side racing up here through this front pack.
Yeah, I think they're side by side for a lot of rows. I mean, they're 3 rows back, side by side. As they head into turn 1, Mike Van Houten's trying to make a move on Josh Lilly.
Van Houten with a nice run to that inside. Still looking on Lilly, and Lilly, that's a big move for Van Houten to make, knowing that Lilly has had a lot of issues. If we've seen Josh Lilly in trouble in that 48, it's been coming off of turn number 2. Pushing that truck out, getting it loose, having to really yank it off the wall.
Yeah, he's been getting loose quite a bit out of these corners. And I expect him to not change that one bit. I mean, he's pretty fast doing it. And when you're running up there, I mean, it saves a little bit of tire too.
Twinham, this is the view that he has off the back, and he gets a big wiggle as that 31
he's still
comes
fighting
close
it.
up to him.
Josh Lilly's peeks to the inside, going into turn 3. Kinney clearing, coming out of turn 4. They are side by side, given all the room in the world, and Josh Lilly is clear of Ryan Twynham.
It's also worth noting here that this is only the second race that we've broadcasted of this series, so it's new. It's just as new to us as it is to you guys watching. There will be a stage caution at the completion of lap 30 and 50 here tonight. So we have 10 laps to go until the stage break. Some guys might look to pit a little bit early, so this way they don't have to pit and they can kind of gain some track position through the stage caution.
Well, yeah, I think it was the caution comes out lap 30, and then there's a 50-lap run till the end.
Okay, I'm seeing on the schedule, it might be wrong, but I'm seeing... Okay, so that might be it. I might be misconstruing that as two different stages. So it's a 30-lap run and then a 50. Okay, instead of the... Okay, I'm getting it.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, we're all new to this, and we're learning as we go.
Absolutely is a big... It's just a big wad of cars up here. Joey Stiers in the 23, that green and black, number 23, second car on the inside line. He's starting to find his way back up here. As the top three in points right now, sharing third, fourth, and fifth positions. All there on your screen is Kinney and Stiers getting really close.
Yeah, they all know what they have to do. They all need to win this race and get stage points to have a chance at winning this championship. So it will be really interesting to see all these guys and that added pressure already to want to win the championship while also trying to take care of their car.
Stiers is quite a ways back as far as that points championship is concerned. He's sitting a cool 40 some odd points back, so he's going to need a miracle in order to take the championship here tonight. But we have seen miracles in racing before, so it's not completely out of the question. Stiers really needs to get up into that lead and start pulling away here as this run comes to an end.
Yeah, I mean...
Oh, Twynham with a big slide out of two.
He almost lost it. We're seeing all these guys get loose out of turn 2. I wonder if the wind's just blowing a certain way and it's getting them loose, kind of like we saw at Kansas last year in NASCAR.
48 starting to get loose, but that's more to do with the 45 of Twynham pushing him, as Kinney now finally leads his first lap of the race. Van Houten now pushing him through, the three championship runners right now.
This is non-stop action.
This is what you come to expect from the Truck Series here at Michigan.
And Joey Stiers has a run. He's going to the inside. Oh, they almost touch.
I think the 6 has gotten into the wall. I think Kinney has found the outside wall. He certainly has coming out of turn 2. You see the damage on the right front corner of Evan Kinney. And around here, that could spell absolute catastrophe. So this right now, this is go time for Van Houten of anyone.
Yeah, Mike Van Houten and Joey Stiers need these points to have a chance at this championship. Can Joey Stiers or Mike Van Houten, get up there and win this stage to be able to propel their chances at a championship?
It's a 13-point difference between Kinney and Van Houten, and right now Kinney is falling like a rock. This is going to be a very welcome stage caution for the 6, as a little bit of damage around here spells absolute disaster, and we're seeing that right now. Lane Hosler is trying to keep him up here in that number 61, but there's going to come a point where Hosler is going to start to see more of a disadvantage than an advantage, trying to keep that 6 up, trying to help him win the championship.
Yeah, well, I mean, Evan Kinney is the championship leader, and these guys like Mike Van Houten and Joey Stiers have them right where they want him. He is not in the points. He is 2 spots out of stage points with 4 to go in the stage. That could spell trouble for him.
And Stiers needs this stage victory, as we said, running in 4th position. I did misspeak on that. I said he was 3rd place in points a little bit earlier. He's running, he's 4th in points. So Stiers does have quite a bit of work to make up. The man sitting in 2nd in points right now is Mike Van Houten, who slides coming out of turn 2, makes a big catch. We stay green, but that could have been disastrous for Mike Van Houten.
And that has to be awful for him. He was just getting to the stage, and he gets a big loose and loses out of the stage points position. Can he get back up there before the stage is over?
0.6 of a second to make up over the course of 2 more laps. I'm not quite sure, but I think he of course he's going to be hating to lose those stage points, but he is going to be loving the fact that he even still has a race car right now. I think that's a little bit bigger for him at the moment, and he's still ahead of Evan Kinney, who is falling rapidly. And here comes Nathan Brown, the man who does sit in 3rd place in points.
Yeah, I mean, these guys are going crazy up here with just a couple laps to go. They cannot get caught up in a wreck here because we do not have faster pairs. And that could be huge. Oh, there's contact! Ugh.
There's a little bit of touch in there between the 92 and the 85. The 85 of Becker right up to that outside wall. But as we come down the back straightaway, it appears as though Joey Stiers, the man who needs the points the most, is going to come across the line, and of the 4 drivers looking for the championship, he is going to be the only one to get points. Joey Stiers, the winner of stage 1.
Well, we say that puts the points gap to 32. Well, there's only 19 guys entered. He needs to win this race and everybody else to finish 19th or 18th, 17th, and 16th. That's a tall task to say, and I'm not even sure he can get the championship then. But congrats to him for the stage win, and this is heating up.
He's doing what he needs to do at this point. Joey Stiers, Josh Lilly, Ryan Twynham, Brian Sullivan in the number 4. Haven't spoken much of him. He was in that top group the entire time. Finishing 4th, Kevin Hayes in the 51. Comes home with the final stage paying position. Mike Van Houten was in 2nd. But after this big slide here, we're going to show you right here in just a second. Van Houten, I'm sure, is going to be happy he still has a truck. 48 was getting really close to that back bumper, but no contact was made as far as I could see.
Well, there was a little bit of contact made, but it was after he had already started getting loose.
Just saw it there, riding on board with Josh Lilly as pit stops are beginning here from the Michigan International Speedway. As Joey Stiers leads the entire field down. For those of you who are wondering about the 75 of Jeremy Morrison, as the 23 blows the pit box. Jeremy Morrison came down to pit a couple of laps into the race, came down to pit a further 2 times before calling it quits on lap 16. So Jeremy Morrison after 16 of the 80 laps here tonight. After 16 of the 80 laps here tonight is the one and only retirement thus far. As we are bringing you this race here, again, the season finale for these guys. And tonight, you see down there in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, Ringside Report Network. Are you a wrestling or an MMA fan? Then ringsidereport.net is the place for you. Come and listen to veteran broadcaster Dave Simon and his group of friends discuss the latest news in these sports. Tune in on Thursday nights and listen to cleanracing.net driver Frederick Garcia talk some MMA. With a minimum of 4 shows a week, ringsidereport.net is your home for WWE, AEW, and UFC discussions. As we are now, there's a big connection drop there for Joey Stiers. So we'll also take a look at what's ahead here later on in the week. If you like Truck Series racing, boy oh boy, tomorrow night is the night for you. Tuesday night Truck Series action. The Feed America Cup Series will begin the night from Daytona. That'll be an 8 p.m. Eastern Time start. The Truckers Feed America Series starting their season. The Rick Motec Truck Series begins their playoffs tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time from Atlanta. The Western States Racing League will kick off an hour later, round number 4 of their season from Mid-Ohio. And the Ghost Cup Series from Richmond will be at 8 p.m. on Wednesday night. You can also flip on over, open up a new tab, and support the guys broadcasting the Maestros ARCA Series, the first round of the playoffs for them. It's the first of the Charlotte Double. They'll be at the Oval this week and the Roval next week. Coming to the line, it is Joey Stiers in the 29 leading them down. And Joseph, we're back to Green Flag Racing.
Yeah, we're back to Green Flag Racing, and they are off. And Joey Stiers has a massive lead here heading into turn 1.
Stiers does get out to a big advantage. There is Mike Van Houten in the number 31. Van Houten trying to get back up into that second spot. The 61 of Lane Hosler trying to fend off Justin Carey in the 21, as well as Kevin Hayes in the 51. Update on champion.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
As I say, update on the championship contenders. Third position, Mike Van Houten. Nathan Brown running in the 7th position in that number 92. And the championship leader right now currently running in the 15th position. You can see the right side damage, and that could be the key that wins Mike Van Houten this championship. He needs 13 points to do it, and he is right around there right now.
Yeah, I mean, he is P3 right now.
Yep.
He has to, I believe he has to win. So it's going to be interesting to see, can he get the win? You saw that big moment out of 2 before that stage break happened. Good thing he saved it, because this is setting up for him to maybe be able to get this championship.
Absolutely, and that is the way it looks at the moment, as Van Houten holding on to that 3rd position. Joey Stiers battling with Ryan Twynham. And then behind them, it is just a mess of cars. Kevin Hayes in the 51, as Lane Hosler and Justin Carey battling it out for the 5th spot.
Yeah, I mean, we saw after about 15 laps they really started getting racy. I wonder if that'll happen this time, or since they have to make a pit stop, they'll maybe kind of chill out for a little bit and hope that they can maybe stretch it to the end or make it to about 5 laps to go and just get a splash and go.
Green flag pit stop will definitely be needed here come the end of this race. Those of you looking up at the timing and scoring and wondering what happened to this man, this is the 20 of Ryan Lewis. He had come down pit road on lap 36, pardon me, and has fallen a lap down, maybe trying to get the pit stop out of the way early, so this way he doesn't have to later on maybe pick up a couple more positions than where he could have been projecting that he would finish. As this top three battle here remains close, and Kevin Hayes getting really close to the back end of that number 31 of Van Houten.
Yeah, these guys are bumper to bumper, just like Daytona and Talladega, and they are going crazy up here. It might be single file for now, but Mike Van Houten's going for P2 down the back straightaway.
Van Houten to the inside of the 45 of Ryan Twynham. Now he is going to have to start moving forward a little bit here, as here's riding on board right now with the 6 of Evan Kinney, starting to work his way up through the field. We saw him running in the 15th position. He's just passed Josh Lilly on the outside for the 10th position. So Kinney starting to work his way back forward on merit, making it harder and harder for Mike Van Houten, who now takes the second spot as Van Houten now goes for the lead to the inside of Joey Stiers.
Side by side, down the backstretch. It is a drag race. All the help with Joey Stiers. Can he do it by himself without any drafting help? He goes into turn 3 and 4. They're almost touching. They might have touched. Going into going down the front stretch. He might be clear. He tries clearing him.
Just does get that lap led, so bonus points for Van Houten. Now Van Houten, all of the championship protagonists here tonight do have a victory except for the 92 of Brown. Van Houten won back at Homestead, the second race of the year. Stiers, as we had mentioned, won at Nashville Superspeedway and at Wilkesboro. Look at Twynham dive to the inside, make it 3 wide. Does that 45, pardon me. 3 wide for the race lead. Twynham's going to have to give way. It's still the 31 leading as they cross the line. The 51 of Hayes is also getting into the mix. He's right here as well. Contact side by side between the 51 and the 45.
These guys are not saving any tire, and I am loving it. Side by side down the backstretch. Oh, is he clear? He gets clear. Will Joey Stiers try going back on the inside and making a move? Let's find out. He looks, and he's not gonna get there.
Not quite close enough just yet. You can also see left side damage on the 51, right side damage on the 45 from the contact between those two. Evan Kinney right now in the middle of a hornet's nest. He's got the 4 of Brian Sullivan behind him. 10 of Stephen Tuck there as well. Josh Lilly didn't really see too much damage or any damage at all on that 48. He was one of the guys who was a fixture up at the front come the stage. And Lilly has not found a way to get back up through this field.
Yeah, Lilly has really just fell back after that stage, and I mean, will he be able to get back up there and compete? He was up there for quite a bit, battling for that lead, and then he fell back.
He was no lower than 4th the entirety of that first stage, fell to the back in the pit stop, and now just cannot seem to work his way up as Evan Kinney in the number 6 now, battling just to get into the top 10. And this is not what he needs, especially with Van Houten now leading this race. He needs to start making his way up towards the front of this field and in a hurry if he doesn't want to lose this championship.
Yeah, I mean, it's really a battle of strategy at this point, because you know they're going to have to make a pit stop. When do you make the pit stop? Do you pit early, try to jump some guys with fresh tires and hope they don't catch up to you? Or do you try to run as far as you can, get a splash of gas, and get out there and go?
Take a look now just at the recent laps. That is Kinney to Van Houten. And Van Houten over these last couple laps has been a good half a second quicker than Kinney in that number 6. So the damage to the right front of that truck of Kinney not doing him any favors. And you can also see here he's fallen back even further. That gap now 3.5 seconds between the 31 and the 6, as Van Houten now starting to pull out a little bit of a lead here, has a half a second on the 23.
This is the biggest gap we've seen all day from first to second. Has he figured out something that nobody else has?
Sitting in that second line right now, which is not uncommon to see. That bottom line just over the yellow line there is a little bit flatter than the rest of the racetrack, and Van Houten really starting to pull rank on this 23 here. Side-by-side battling continuing in the middle of the field, as that's the 85 of Kevin Becker trying to get a position on Justin Carey. That's to get into the top 5. As Ryan Twynham with that front end damage on his number 45 starting to fall back just a little bit. Tire wear could also be playing a factor in that as well for Twynham.
Yeah, I mean, like I said earlier, there's about 1.5 seconds of fall off, and maybe they're starting to see this now, and that maybe Van Houten got a little bit fresher, or saved a little bit more tire, and that's why he's pulling away.
Mike Van Houten's best lap is a 40.36. Lap he ran last time by as he crossed the line now was a 40.99. About a 100th of a second slower than Stiers, but a good 2 to 3 tenths quicker than the 51 of Hayes, who's now starting to fall back into the clutches of this second group that's led by Twynham. Justin Carey in the 21. Biggest mover of the race right now, plus 12 from where he started. 92 of Nathan Brown also in this mix as well. He's in the 8th position. And unfortunately for him, unless something big happens in the final 30 laps of this race, it does not appear as though it will be back-to-back championships for the number 92, as he currently sits 22 points off of Mike Van Houten, and that was coming into this race.
Yeah, he just has not had the day the past 2 weeks, he really hasn't lived up to what he usually does, and I mean, that could cost him the championship. I mean, that's really what it's come down to, is these last 2 weeks.
Again, he's the only one of the 4 drivers vying for the championship this season that has not won a race. Again, Van Houten at Homestead, Stiers at Nashville and Wilkesboro, and Kinney won 2 weeks ago at Richmond. Oh, big wiggle out of the 85. Trying to keep it off the wall, and Becker is now going to fall out of that group. He did catch the wall. Look at the damage on the right front of that Amp Energy Chevrolet.
Yeah, I mean, that is
guys
killed,
starting to
and
come
we're
in.
starting to see pit stops.
Yep, here's Kevin Hayes coming in, Brown in, Becker in, Kinney in, pardon me. Kinney looks like he may have caught the wall again in that number 6.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely looks like more damage than he had before, so.
Frederick Garcia in as well. Mike Thomas came in a couple of laps ago on lap 50. As these leaders are staying out, so the leaders trying to go as short as they possibly can. It's the 66 of Daniel Sykes coming into pit road. Chris Smith in the 14 is in pit road as well. You see he's had some contact with the outside wall.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of these guys have damage on that right side, so they must be not handling like they want it, and that outside wall, it's scary at these speeds.
Certainly these guys trying a little bit too hard around here. Is of the drivers that came into pit on lap 52, Nathan Brown in the 92, there he goes, was the first of the drivers to come back out onto the racetrack. Evan Kinney was the second. Mike Van Houten in pit road, just getting to his box in that yellow and green number 31.
Okay, this is the make or break moment. Can he get on and off pit road better than Evan Kinney, Nathan Brown? Can he be able to pull this off and get out of pit road still in the lead?
I think he's going to, as here comes the rest of the field. Now, Joey Stiers has not come into pit. The drivers running in the top 5 right now, Stiers, Hosler, Sullivan, Twynham, and Tuck have not come into pit. Here's Van Houten on the racetrack. And Van Houten will get out in front of Nathan Brown, who is your effective race. So that would make Van Houten your effective race leader at the moment. Nathan Brown going to unlap himself the hard way, as here comes Joey Stiers into pit road to vacate the race lead. That will give the race lead to Lane Hosler.
Now, we saw Joey Stiers pit early last week trying to get out ahead of Lane Hosler, and Lane Hosler stayed out a little bit longer. It looks like they're doing a little bit different this week, and basically the exact opposite. And will it pay off for Twynham this time? Or not Twynham, Stiers this time?
Stiers just trying to give himself the freshest tires for the end of the race, but right now this man right here will cycle through to be the leader of the race once pit stops are done and over with. Lane Hosler is the current leader of the race. Ryan Twynham in second. Stephen Tuck in the 10 in third. These are the only 3 drivers yet to make a pit stop. Their final pit stop of the day. Battle now for the 7th position as Nathan Brown caught up a little bit behind Justin Carey in the 21. Brown now is going to lose the spot to Kevin Hayes in the 51.
Yeah, I mean, it's old tires, and these guys are just struggling for grip at the moment, and the guys that have tires look like Superman.
Good news for Evan Kinney right now is at least it appears as though he has a friend in that 48 pushing him along. Kinney right now is in the 10th position, and with every lap that goes by, he is getting closer and closer to unlapping himself, because the next car in front of him is the 61 of Lane Hosler, which means he's getting closer and closer to more positions, so he could be as high as the 8th position, the 7th or 8th position, at the end of this pit cycle, which should net him the championship no matter what Mike Van Houten does, who now, by virtue of his pit stop when he made it, is now 3.9 seconds ahead of Joey Stiers for what would be the effective race lead.
Man, I mean, that strategy call was amazing. But will Joey Stiers be able to bring those tires back up to the front?
That's going to be the question. As we'll take a look here, this was the total time down pit lane for the two drivers. Lane Hosler comes into pit road. Only 0.2 of a second difference. Van Houten 0.2 of a second quicker down pit road and had a pit stop that was only 1/10 of a second quicker. It was Van Houten getting out onto the racetrack 2 laps earlier, able to put down some time that has gotten him this 4-second lead that he currently has.
Yeah, I mean, Twynham staying out, doing his job that he needs to do, hoping for a caution. And it's really interesting to see all these different strategies because Michigan always brings these long green flag runs.
Certainly does. As Evan Kinney, unfortunately, not able to get out in front of Lane Hosler. So his championship hopes right now are riding on the drivers behind him, not getting enough of a run to get around him. Mike Thomas has had an issue. This is back a couple of laps ago. Got into the outside wall, down the front straightaway, ends up going straight on through the infield grass. He stayed green from that issue.
Now, one thing to note, Josh Lilly, Joey Stiers is his stepdad. Will Josh Lilly try and maybe get by Kinney and maybe race him more than he normally would to help his stepdad win the championship?
I think if he would have passed him by now is really all I could say, is because these two have been line astern for the last 10 laps ever since they came down pit road. So I think if he was going to do that, I think he would have passed him and left him by now. As here comes the 66 of Daniel Sykes on that inside line, trying to break up the 48 and the 6. Can't quite get the move done. Joey Stiers, as you had mentioned a second ago, now battling with Justin Carey for the 4th position. What would be effective 3rd is, I think, Ryan Twynham. Could Ryan Twynham and Stephen Tuck be in a position where they're trying to make it the rest of the way on fuel here?
I mean, if they can do it, props to them. I just don't see them being able to keep the lead because of the lap times they're running compared to the leaders, or the guys behind on fresh tires.
Talking 48 seconds. 48 laps, pardon me. As we'll take a look, here's the gap between Twynham and Van Houten. 6 laps ago, that gap was 30.6 seconds. This last time by, it's down to 24.1. So he might have enough, but it's going to be close. Van Houten's catching at the rate of a second a lap. He's not going to have enough, as here comes the 10 of Stephen Tuck in. Knows that he can't make it.
I think that'll lead Twynham down pit road here in the coming laps.
I would have to agree with you. So that will promote Van Houten to the 2nd position. It's there right now as Tuck starts to tumble. The question's going to be, can Evan Kinney get around Tuck? And the answer to that is going to be a resounding yes. So Evan Kinney up into the 10th position. This is not good for Van Houten. Twynham staying out this long and leading this race as much as he is. That's most laps led bonus points that he can use going away.
Yeah, I mean, if I were him, I'd be pushing it to the brink and hoping these guys pit. And Twynham is now on pit road.
Yep, Twynham
Can Van Houten lead enough laps to get that most laps led bonus point?
He's going to have the lead with 13 laps to go, and he has lost a considerable amount to Joey Stiers. He has lost a second of his lead to Joey Stiers in the 23. So Van Houten takes the lead right now. So if all goes according to the way we think it's going to go, Van Houten is going to lead the final 13 laps of this race. Evan Kinney has passed Ryan Twynham and is putting a fair amount of distance between himself and Twynham. Kinney running in the 9th position. I think that will be enough for Kinney to win the championship, and I'm not good at quick math.
Yeah, if you give me a second, I'll do the math real quick.
That would be awesome.
Let me see
that
here.
15 that you're seeing there, that is Jamie Laroche, who is the first car not on the lead lap. So Laroche in the 15 is not for position. Frederick Garcia, however, in the 94, you just saw exit screen right, is for position. Kinney looking to hold on. Van Houten running comfortably in the race lead. 11 laps to go. Stiers trying to do everything he can to win his 3rd race of the season. Justin Carey looking to win his 1st, a 2nd off of Stiers. Ryan Sullivan trying to catch up to Kevin Hayes. That would be for the 4th position.
So, I'm not sure like how many points first gets for winning the race.
I believe it's the NASCAR point system, so it would be 43 if I'm right in assuming that.
Let me check here.
So you'd have to assume points, 43 points for the win, a bonus point for leading a lap. I don't think he's going to get most laps led because of how long the 45 and the 10 and the 61 stayed out. Brian Sullivan has gotten around Kevin Hayes. That's for the 4th spot.
Right now, I believe Mike Van Houten leads the points by 1 point.
Oof. And that is not good news for Evan Kinney, because Kinney currently sits 2 seconds behind the next points paying position, which is this man right here, Daniel Sykes, in the 66. If that is how it goes.
Yeah. We're not 100% certain on this. This is only our 2nd week with the league.
This is, we're going to need some confirmation on this.
Yeah, so we do have 8 laps to go.
Anything can happen.
Anything can happen. We haven't had any cautions for cause this race. I say that, it'll be like what Larry Mack does, and
caution comes right out.
Yeah.
Douglas Sykes to the outside of Nathan Brown. Brown again coming into this race, 22 points, down in third position in the point standings, has not had a good day by any measure. The defending series champion has been hovering around that 8th to 12th position range all race long and currently sits in 8th. Mike Van Houten doing everything that he needs to do to win this championship. However, Joey Stiers is starting to close the gap. Last time we left these two, it was a 2.9 second gap. It is now down to 2 seconds even between Stiers and Van Houten. And you can see Stiers quicker than Van Houten every lap thus far. Over the last 5 at least.
Yeah, I'm trying to do some research to see if we are correct.
Well, problems are coming here in the forms of Ryan Twynham. As Twynham on fresh tires after pitting on lap 67 has 15 lap fresher tires than the 6 in front of him. This could spell disaster for Evan Kinney, and a little bit of contact there almost sends Kinney around coming out of turn 4. Everyone behind checks up, and Kinney keeps the front spot in that group, has the 48 of Josh Lilly behind him again. That could have been huge as Twynham, but again, Twynham on those 15 lap fresher tires certainly has an advantage on this group. Justin Carey, boy, a big scrum on the front straightaway as Joey Stiers has now lost the second position. What in the world happened? Is Van Houten now out to a 5-second lead? What on earth happened at the front?
I did some research, and I believe they are tied in points.
I'm not sure what the tiebreaker would be then. If it's wins, it goes to Van Houten with 2 on the season. Trying to see what happened. We'll figure that out a little bit later. As we're coming down to 3 laps to go. Evan Kinney has just made a pass. Nathan Brown has put the right rear corner of the car in the fence. And the 92 now has lost positions. That promotes Kinney to 8th. And assuming the 45 doesn't try to get around these guys again, if your math is correct, Joseph, we'll have a first-time champion or a second-time champion. Oh, almost contact between the 48 and 45.
And
now there was contact. The race for the win is effectively over. Mike Van Houten with a 5.3 second lead is going to win. The battle is down at the line. Twynham and Lilly.
Not bring caution out.
No, it does not. Accident was far enough off the racetrack. The 10. Oh, something has happened to Joey Stiers. Stiers has fallen back. That's given another spot to Kinney. Kinney's up into 7th now.
What is going on here?
I have no idea. We're seeing Stiers just fall off the face of the earth. Kinney's got to keep the 10 of Stephen Tuck behind him. But down on the other end of the straightaway, this man has done darn near everything that he's needed to do tonight. Mike Van Houten comes out of turn number 4. He is going to come across the line to win his second race of the season and the season finale. But down at the other end of the speedway, Evan Kinney comes through 3 and 4, and boy, does he have a battle behind him as Stephen Tuck in the 10 tries to put the battle on. So does the 30 of Joey Stiers. Stiers breaks the inside, crossing the line. Evan Kinney wins the Season 9 championship here for CleanRacing.net.
Wow, congrats to Evan Kinney. But man, that has to be heartbreaking, seeing everything fall apart on the literal final lap for Mike Van Houten when he did everything possible.
Unreal. Final couple of laps as Evan Kinney, with the math that we are expecting, Evan Kinney is the champion of Season 9, his first championship since Season 5. Mike Van Houten, again, did everything that he needed to do. Unfortunately, just incidents behind him led to the 23 falling back, led to the 92 falling back, and giving the championship to the 6 of Evan Kinney.
Wow. That's all I can say is wow.
I mean, that's really, there's nothing, there's really nothing else to say. And we'll be getting all of these guys in here. We'll wait on the champion, Evan Kinney. He will be the first one we hear from. Mike Van Houten, again, winning the race, doing everything he needed to do. Justin Carey, biggest mover of the race, comes home finishing in the second position. Brian Sullivan, let's try to find out while we're waiting on these guys here. Let's see what in the world happened. This is the battle between Lily and Twynham. That's Lily on the inside, Twynham on the outside. A little bit of contact going into turn 3. Again, 15 lap fresher tires for Twynham. And Twynham just tries to duck to the inside of the 6. It wasn't clear. That's what sends him backwards down the front straightaway. And then whatever has happened to Joey Stiers has already happened. Stiers just slow on that outside unless he underfueled the car and was just trying to make it the rest of the way. He's on that outside. Yeah, I think he might have fueled it a bit close, because you can see how slow he is on that outside. Everyone else is going to start filing past. And that is the end of that. So
and we have confirmation. Evan Kinney is your champion.
Yeah, that's what we thought. So Evan Kinney will bring Evan in right now. We'll try to get Evan Kinney up here into the booth with us. And we have him here right now. Evan Kinney. Boy, it was touch and go, but guys started to have issues in front of you. And by the skin of your teeth, you come home as the Season 9 champion.
Is it official? Has the map been confirmed?
That's from what we're hearing. I believe that's what I'm seeing here in the Discord is that you've gotten it. We've
All
been
right.
trying to work it out in the booth here for the last 10 laps.
Yeah, I thought by my math, I had to be sixth or better, but I could have been wrong because I can't drive and do math at the same time. So I might be wrong.
Well, we were thinking 10th or better, which I think if you would have stayed in 10th, our math had it that you guys would be tied. But
All
again,
right.
we can't broadcast in math either. So right now we'll go with you as the season 9 champion. Evan, what a season. I know we've only seen you for the last couple of races, but a great season out of you and a trying race after getting into the wall during that first stint.
Yeah, it's been a trying season overall. I've definitely had a lot of ups and downs. Like to thank my teammates, especially Nate. Nate's the smartest guy that I've ever seen on this game. But yeah, it's been a trying season. Mike definitely deserves it. Um, but I'm happy to be here. Like to thank Fred for putting the league on. I'd like to thank you guys for broadcasting, and shout out to Next Gen and Space Ventures being my sponsor.
So how bad we can only talk about it so much here. What did that truck do after you had gotten into the turn 2 wall during the first stint? How did that truck just fall off?
It crinkled up the right side pretty good. I couldn't really see it from where I was sitting, but I saw it on the broadcast while I was driving, and it was like somebody had stuck a couple of cinder blocks on my hood. It just would not go forward at all.
And certainly nice to have the 48 of Josh Lilly pushing you pretty much that entire end of that run. Was that a plan, or did he just commit to doing that for you?
Definitely was not a plan. Josh is a teammate, so I do deeply appreciate it. But we were not communicating via the race, so that was completely something that Josh did. So props to him and a huge shout out and thanks to him. But yeah, not something we had planned on.
All right. We head into a little bit of a break before we get into season 10. Your first championship since season 5. Evan, the floor is yours. Anyone you want to thank? Anything you want to say?
Yeah, just again, thank you to Fred, first of all, for putting the league on. Thank you to you guys for doing the broadcasting. Thanks to my teammates, Josh, Kevin, um, and Nate, especially Nate being our the brains of the operations. And thanks to, again, Next Gen and Space Ventures being our sponsors. And I'm excited for the next season.
And Joseph just posted in the Discord, it is official, you are the champion by 2 points over Mike Van
Awesome.
Houten.
A little too close for my comfort, but I will take it.
I'm sure it is. If you wouldn't mind asking Mike to come up now, your season 9 champion, Evan Kinney. Bud, congratulations. Enjoy the off season.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, so made official. Thank you, Joseph, for posting that in the Discord, as we'll now get our race winner up here. And Joseph, I think you could definitely do the honors for that, as try to there we are. All right, so sorry to keep cutting you off there, but Joe, take it away with Mike Van Houten.
Hey, Mike. Great race by you. You did everything you could to get that championship, but you just came up 2 points short. It seemed to fall apart all in the last lap. Walk us through what you were feeling there at the end.
Well, the first probably disappointment was in that stage there, and one of Evan's teammates took me out of that stage, gave me a bump, and got no points there. But I could see it in the end. I could see guys dropping off and making sure that Evan could make up some places there. So a little disappointing. Evan's a great racer. Got all the respect for Evan. I don't understand why why the games are going on.
Yeah, I mean, that happens sometimes. You hate to see it happen. But you did come home with the win, so that has to be a plus.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I showed up as the best car out there tonight, so had to miss one race earlier in the season. Otherwise, I think we would have had this pretty handily. But it is what it is.
yeah, man, you put on a dominant performance. Ever since that final stage, you were flying out there. I mean, nobody could touch you. What did you figure out at the end of that stage that propelled you to get that big stage?
Well, I just found a good groove where the tires were keeping pretty cool and but still being able to maintain that pace. So I think Joey was the only one that could run some laps with me. Everybody else was a couple tenths off. So pretty happy with it. We'll build on that. I'm brand new to these trucks, so I'm still learning these things.
Yeah, man, for being new to these trucks, you did great. Anybody you'd like to thank? Any sponsors, family?
Yeah, I'd love to just say hello to my beautiful wife. She'll be watching the broadcast a little later, so I love her very much. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Well, great race. Hope to see you next season.
Yeah, absolutely, and hope to have you guys back. Really appreciate all the work you're doing in the booth there.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, so that was your winner here tonight, Mike Van Houten. Mike, if Justin is in the Discord, could you please tell him to come on in? But other than that, congratulations on the win tonight, bud.
Thanks a lot, guys. I do not see Justin in there, but again, thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. Great win tonight.
All right. So that is Mike Van Houten, and again, that comes with being new to broadcasting this series. We're not sure of teammates and stuff like that just yet. As next season goes on, I'm sure we'll gain a better understanding of who's teaming up with who. But as we wait for the final two drivers on the podium here, again, just Joseph, it was an absolutely fantastic race. To be able to call, and from start to finish we saw action, absolutely no cautions other than that stage caution. Great racing all throughout the night.
Yeah, there was such amazing racing, and that is 2 straight races we haven't had a caution for calls, which is pretty impressive to me. But man, that was such a good race.
Yep, it absolutely was. So we'll try to get these guys in here for these interviews. If not, we can go right to. Oh, yep, there he is, Justin Carey. All right, so Justin, second place finish here tonight, a solid run in your number 21 machine. What was it like from your seat?
Strategic from start to finish. I didn't get the qualifying I wanted, so kind of had to think of how I wanted to play this game. Being roughly new to this league, so I don't really know everybody too well to who to team up with. Kind of just picked and choose who was kind of running quicker and went from there.
Yeah, and it certainly showed here tonight, and you had a great run, making a lot of your passes on the outside, at least from what we saw. What was it about that outside line that just seemed to work and fit with you a little bit better than the inside?
Anytime I tried to run on the inside, it felt like the truck got more and more loose. So I just kept it on the outside where I felt like I could get that speed on the way off, and it felt like it stuck a little bit more. If I could have ran a little bit higher, I would, but we kind of just kept it where it was, and it just kept moving forward.
He certainly did move forward all the way up into the second position here tonight. Going into the off season, you now have time. You've had a season now with these guys. Plans for next season and what you're going to be waiting for and looking forward to for season 10.
Compete in a whole season. Jumping in roughly halfway through. Of course, I'm kind of down on the barrel, so got to learn who everybody was, who's the top tier, who's the middle tier, and just run where I know I can run and improve each and every week. Just by getting to know everybody and kind of just don't put my foot where it's not supposed to be put and kind of just learn from everybody around me. So I'm going to use the off season to kind of keep doing that and see where it puts us next season.
It's going to be a very interesting season 10, especially come the end of it, because I believe the season 10 ends at Circuit of the Americas. If I saw that correctly, I might not have, but certainly be an interesting end to the season. Anybody you want to thank for the race, for the season?
For the race, just the guys who I got on my truck. I got Outlaw Desert Racing, OPE 22 Racing, Carey's Lawn Service, Rep Sports, Raise Energy, Bruzy, Cons Racing, like just kind of a little bit of everybody and everybody involved with this league. Ever since I've joined, everybody's been completely welcoming and kind of just help me out where I can get help, and I'm continuing to moving forward. So it's good to have everybody in this league, and especially you guys as well for broadcasting.
All right, thank you very much. Justin Carey, your second place finisher here tonight in the season finale. Congratulations, bud.
Thank you very much.
All right, and with that, I think I'm not seeing Brian Sullivan. So let's now go to the league owner. If we get a second here, just to kind of say a few words to wrap up this season. Again, I know we've only been here for a couple of races, and certainly, I mean, Joseph, again, you were there last week. You saw a great race at Kentucky, and then here again tonight. It's season 10 is going to be very, very interesting with these guys.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of new tracks to the schedule coming next year. I'm trying to find that right now.
Yeah,
Give me
I
a
could have
second.
sworn I had seen it before, but I guess I must have.
They start out at New Hampshire in week 1. Then on week 2, they go to Chicagoland. Week 3, they will be racing at Lucas Oil Raceway. Then race 4, they'll go to Daytona. Week 5, they'll go to Auto Club. Week 6, they'll go to Las Vegas. Week 7, Iowa. Week 8, Atlanta. Week 9, Coda. And rounding out the season, Homestead.
And that's what I thought. I did misspeak there. It's the second to last race of the season at Circuit of the Americas, not the final one. So let's see. I think Freddie is a little wrapped up right now. So what we'll do is we will go through the results here for tonight's race. What was an absolutely fantastic race from start to finish here tonight. Mike Van Houten takes his second win of the season. Justin Carey and Brian Sullivan round out the podium positions. Kevin Hayes, Lane Hostler, Daniel Sykes, Evan Kinney, Joey Stiers, Stephen Tuck, and Josh Lilly round out the top 10. Joseph?
P11 will be Nathan Brown. P12, Frederick Garcia. P13, Ryan Twynham. P14, Chris Smith. P15, Mike Thomas. P16, Jamie Laroche. P17, Kevin Becker. P18, Ryan Lewis. And rounding out the field, 64 laps down, Jeremy Morrison.
Jeremy Morrison, the only DNF here for the night. So coming up here on ESPN, tomorrow night will be the Truckers Feed America Cup Series season opener from Daytona. That will be at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Then after that at 9 will be the first race of the playoffs for the Rick Motec Truck Series. That will be from Atlanta Motor Speedway. And then an hour after that, starting at 10, will be the Western States Racing League round number 4 of their season from Mid-Ohio. That will be at 10:05 p.m. Eastern Time. And then coming up on Wednesday will be the Ghost Cup Series. It'll be round number 2 of their season. They will be at Richmond starting at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time. So for that will do it for us here tonight. For my broadcast partner, Joseph Lester, my name is Frank Marchese. Thank you very much for making us a part of your evening. Congratulations to Evan Kinney, the Season 9 champion, and we will see you all on the 31st, so next week, for the beginning of Season 10. Good night, everybody.